So I'm gonna, before I get rolling and get all excited about all that we're gonna cover tonight, I'm gonna introduce my friend Rick, who's gonna talk for a couple minutes, and then I'll take over. Rick is a doctor. He's been a dentist, and for many years has his own practice, had a lot of success in business and traveling and around to different countries now. And that's one of the things I love about him. He's got a big heart for serving people. Just got back from a trip to Haiti, where he went down there and basically donated his dental services to many Haitians, and helped out down there at his own expense, and has a lot of great accomplishments. But I asked him if he could just kind of kick us off tonight and get us going. So I'm going to unmute you, brother, and you are on.
All right. Yeah, we're sure glad everyone has the opportunity to tie in and listen tonight, because if you've ever wanted to be, at the right place at the right time, you never had that thought that, man, how come everyone else is always lucky? You never had that thought that, boy, I sure wish things could be different. Ever had that thought that, man, there's just so many things I want to do? Well, you're at the right place, you're at the right time, and you're with the right people. And it truly is my privilege to introduce Dean, because I've known Dean for many years, and what attracted me to him was his passion for impacting people, his passion for growth, and his passion for just for being relatable and showing his heart to people. And especially when we're going into exciting times like we're headed into, it's so important. Even though the technology is great and the opportunity is great, the timing is right, what is really most important is leadership. And Dean provides that, and plus he's in a fortunate position to be tied directly into Orrin Woodward, who is kind of the key behind what's coming. So not only do we have an opportunity, and not only is the timing right, but we got the right people. I've seen Dean through a lot of different circumstances, positive and some not so positive, but you would never know it talking to him, because his outlook and his attitude never changes. It's always focused on what's the solution and how can we move ahead. So I'm really excited to get Dean's perspective on what we learned this weekend. But listen close and get ready for an explosion. So here's my friend Dean.
All right. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Oh, wow. So if you were invited to be on here tonight, and I hope we don't run out of links, we might have over-invited. What a good problem. But so many exciting things are happening, and you probably were invited by somebody. Maybe they showed you a video, an 8-minute video, and they probably mentioned something about crypto, and they might have even said something about a major conference they were at in North Carolina, which was off the charts. And we got so many exciting things right now. You might even think they're a little bit weird, and that's okay. It's like Rick said, he took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to start with that. There's been a lot of good times in my life where I've been an entrepreneur for many years, and there's been some times where I felt like, oh, I'm so glad I'm here right now. And I've felt that way at different times in my life, and took advantage of some great business ideas and had some great success. And then, and then there's been times that, you say, man, I wish I wasn't here, in certain areas. And those are the times you learn lessons and hopefully come out better than you went in. But this truly is the best time I have ever felt, that feeling of I am in the right place at the right time. And so much of it has to do with a little bit about what I'm going to tell you about a startup that we're going to be launching in January that is just blowing all of our minds. And part of it also is because of what Rick just said about the foundation of leadership that I've been a part of for many years. There's a lot of startups and exciting things that happen, and there's a lot of companies that do a lot of this, and a lot of it does have to do with the background of the leadership and the character and these kind of things. I'm not going to get into a lot of that tonight. I decided what I'm going to do a little bit different here tonight. I want to start by telling you a little bit about what's coming, about this crypto marketplace that you've been hearing about, and this app that is going to give us access to do some things that have never yet been done. The technology that has evolved so much over the last years really has got us to a point we could not have done what we're going to do with this app. Well, this weekend I heard Chris Brady say we couldn't have done this a year ago. The technology wasn't available to do what we're going to do. And it is so exciting, and the companies involved are huge. So quick little background on me. I know some of you just jumped on here. Somebody sent you a link, and you don't know me or anybody else, and you're trying to understand what we're talking about. I used to be an accountant. I have a degree in business finance and administration and a minor in accounting. I got out of college, got a job in that field for a period of years, very quickly realized it wasn't a good fit for me. I felt very limited in the job or corporate world, and always wanted to do something on my own. Ended up becoming an entrepreneur in my 20s, had different companies over the years, and God's been very good to us. And we've learned a lot of lessons. And anyway, all of that led us to where we're at right now. And so a little over, it's only been not even 2 weeks, something like that, maybe 2 weeks ago, we found out that, and I knew Orrin Woodward, and if you don't know Orrin, I knew he was working on something. Orrin is an amazing person. Him and his friend Chris Brady are both engineers at General Motors for years. They were very successful in their 20s already. He had 4 patents, became a best-selling author. He's written I don't know how many books now, but he's got 2 New York Times bestsellers, one called Launching a Leadership Revolution, multiple other bestsellers, one called Resolved, one of the top 100 leadership books. He's ranked very high on Inc. magazine's top leaders in the top, Chris and Orrin are both ranked in the top 50. Orrin, I believe, in the top 20. So we're not talking about just small players here. These are big thinkers, successful entrepreneurs. This isn't their first rodeo. They've had a lot of success before. They've started some great companies. Anyway, so Orrin kind of let us know what was coming. And I know that some of you on this call are probably very well educated in crypto. You know a lot more about it than I do, cryptocurrency. And so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in crypto. I'm just going to kind of explain some highlights, and then how we're involved or are going to be involved here with this startup in January with this, and how different it's going to be than anything else in the marketplace. Cryptocurrency has been around for about 10 years. For those of you who don't know anything about it, some people call it's like a digital gold. And what it is, it's a currency. And so most of us, when we think of currency, we think of dollar bills or fiat money. If you travel often, you'll go into different countries where they have different currencies. You go over to Europe and they have the euro, and then there's the yen over in Japan, and the rand in South Africa, and the pesos down in South America, and all kinds of different fiat money. Fiat money basically means that the government said, we're going to call this money, and they print it, and so it's money because they said so. It's not because the paper has value, really. It's because the government says it has some value because they printed it. The problem with that, it can be manipulated, and over the years, it's been a very negative thing, especially for people that love freedom and independence, to have their currencies that they've maybe worked their whole life for, and then the government goes and prints a whole bunch more and devalues their currency. Anyway, so cryptocurrency is a very neat electronic way of having a currency that is not owned by anybody. It's not controlled by a government. It's not centralized like government money is. It's decentralized. It is like digital gold in the sense that whether you're in the United States of America, or you're in South America, or you're in Europe or Asia or wherever you are, gold has value no matter where you go. Cryptocurrency has worldwide value, not just based on a country. Okay, so that's kind of the big picture of what it is. What it's good at, and what people love, is what I just mentioned, that it's neat to have something that can't be manipulated, and you can't lose your hard-earned wealth, I guess. And so the bad thing is people, even with all these crypto companies, and there's about 2,000 of them right now. Here's some numbers for you, for those of you who don't know this. There's about 50 million people right now that own some kind of cryptocurrency. There's about 2,000 companies. There's $250 billion plus invested. And the people that are investing in it, it's kind of like the same people that invested in the internet. They know the technology is going to be unbelievable. And just like the internet, they're still trying to figure out how to use it the best. Now, a lot of these companies have been a buy and hold type situation where you get the cryptocurrency and you buy, whatever amount of it, and then the value goes up or it doesn't go up, but it's more like an investment. You don't buy it so you can take it to McDonald's and buy a burger. You buy it almost like a stock. And so that's kind of what's been happening over the last 10 years. And some of the companies have done tremendously well. But in one sense, there wasn't anything to base the value on. So I told you I keep this simple. So I've been studying it. So I've got all these good things running around in my head. So what happened that we're so excited about is there is a company that what their role is they deal with the exchanges, the credit card transactions, I guess you would say, between merchants and banks. And they've done billions of dollars in transactions over the years. And so it's a very big company. And somebody that's a high up executive in that company knew one of our leaders in our company, and they got talking. It goes back almost 2 years now. And they had this idea, and they said, the problem with cryptocurrency is that we haven't figured out how to use it with the merchants. The merchants would love to use it because for them, they like to get around all those credit card fees and all the other things. So the merchant, but there's, how do we use this currency? And so they came up with an idea, and they came to us and they said, this life company, and I'm gonna backtrack here in a second. So by the way, I'm gonna start with this and I'm gonna backtrack and tell you about the foundation. So they came to us and they said, okay, you're a community of tens of thousands, maybe over 100,000 people that are in our life community is an educational company. We basically have provided education in financial literacy, in leadership, in personal development, in learning how to build businesses and leverage systems. And we've been teaching that. We have lots of very, very happy consumers that are learning, many that have gotten out of debt, that have got their finances in order, many that have improved their skills and leadership and so forth, and have improved their income through that and their ability to run a company or whatnot. And so we have a great community of loyal people that are really happy with what we've learned and what we're doing. So they came to us and they said, we got an idea. We got a relationship with all these merchants, and we figured out a way we can develop a brand new cryptocurrency. And what we're going to do is we can, since all of our business is the life community is through an app. Now we have like a university in an app. You can go on there and learn financial skills, leadership skills, all kinds of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide a way that you can take your app and you're on your phone and you can go into a store, and we've got a relationship with the big dogs. And Rob Robson, this last weekend, I was actually backstage at this conference. I was stage hosting, so I was back with, and he went up there and he started, he took his app and he was telling you what I'm telling you. He said, take Bitcoin, for example. Everybody knows about Bitcoin. They're the biggest cryptocurrency at the moment. Bitcoin right now is accepted in about 15,000 places in the world. And he pulled up his phone and he said, within 6 miles of this stadium, Bitcoin is accepted at one place. And he read it, and it was some little company nobody ever heard of that had a real narrow product line. And then he said, and he had a prototype of the app that we're going to launch. And he said, okay, with our app that we're going to launch through the system, and he punched it in. He said, okay, within 6 miles of here, and he started reading off companies like Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know why that one sticks in my mind first, but I love their wings. He mentioned Domino's Pizza and a whole, but he started going through store after store and, department stores, restaurants, gas stations. And so what our partner, the company we're partnering up with, has done is they have a relationship with these merchants, and they have developed this app. And so that we now can go in with our phone, kind of like Apple Pay. If you've ever used Apple Pay, we can take our phone and go in, let's say, to Home Depot. And we go into Home Depot and we buy whatever, a bag of fertilizer and, and some plants or whatever, some shovels, whatever you get in the Home Depot, and some weed killer. And you go up to checkout, but instead of using your credit card, you just take your phone and punch the app, and and it reads it. And now you automatically get a discount on whatever your purchases were. So We don't know. It depends on the company, 3 to 5%, just a small discount. Let's say if you spend $100, you get $5 off maybe. And then 5 to 15% is going to get put into a crypto account for you. So you have, because you're using this app, you're going to have a crypto account that's going to be building crypto volume. Now, whether if you have a bank account that you're putting money into, the only way that bank account grows is if you put money into it. The amount of interest is almost non-existent. Your crypto account will grow based on the value of the crypto. So imagine we have the first crypto, and back to the example, he said Bitcoin has 15,000 places in the world you can use it as a currency. When if we started today, it'd be 60,000. We still have 3 more months. They got a lot more companies they're in negotiation with. I found out some of them. I will not tell you, but I will tell you this. If we get all of these companies they were telling me that we're in negotiation with right now, just about every place I need to buy anything, every kind of grocery store type big store that you can imagine, that when I walk in now, instead of paying with a credit card, we're going to pay through our app. So we're getting a discount. We get cryptocurrency put into account. The more we use it, the more the value of the crypto will go up. Who knows how fast? And I mean, somebody's saying about last year, the top 20 crypto companies, the number 20, the least of the 20, the top 20 grew, what did they say, 2,000%? Yeah, 2,000%, the smallest one. Now, I don't want to throw that out and say hey, if we grew 10%, that's better than most people can find for an investment. But that's way smaller than what I'm expecting. But here's the thing. We don't know. We just know it's exciting. You know why? Because when you go into McDonald's, you're going to buy a burger or whatever anyway. When you go into Home Depot, when you go into Domino's, you're going to buy the pizza anyway. Why not get a discount? Why not start putting money into a crypto account, which you can then choose to use and spend the next time you buy, or you can choose to let it grow as an investment. And here's the crazy thing. This comes right back to our community. They're going to pay us to get the word out about this. They're going to pay us to market this. That's why we know it's going to grow viral. Who would not be interested in doing the same thing at the same places they're doing now, get a discount and build a crypto account? So that'll go viral whether there's a business attached to it or not, but they're actually going to compensate us. They're going to divide up some of the profits for all of us to get the message out. And that's why they're starting with us, with a big community, because we know we can really hit the ground running and make a lot happen. Now, I know I probably got your mind spinning, and mine's been spinning. I'm going to tell you, I haven't needed a lot of sleep lately. I'll just tell you, isn't it fun to be chasing something and be excited about something? And, I want to take you back a little bit now and help you understand the foundation. Can some of you are just checking this out and like, okay, tell me about this company and how does this all go? So I'm going to share a screen with you actually. And I'm not going to show you everything in here because it's not necessary tonight, but I am going to show you a couple slides to help you understand. This is our little insignia there, our trademark. That's the Life company. And Life, once again, is an education company. We've been around for 7 years. In November 1st is our birthday, so we're coming up on another birthday. We started in 2011, and we have provided leadership, literacy, all kinds of great educational material. We started with a lot of audios as far as in CD form and books, and then of course the digital age kind of took over there. So now most of our product is in digital through subscriptions and so forth, and we focus mostly on financial literacy lately. And the reason why, there's actually a video I'm not going to show you tonight. You can ask whoever invited you. They can send you a clip of this video. But for sake of time, I'm not going to show you. It's a 10-minute video. It's called The Problem in the Product. And basically, it goes over the idea that most of us were not taught financial literacy. And because of that, a lot of people have made poor decisions. And, they're still borrowing money for depreciating items like cars, going on vacation, putting it on a credit card, and they're not understanding how to get out of debt, how to live a fiscally responsible life to be able to create wealth. And it doesn't really matter how much they're making. A lot of people that are making really good income are in debt at a whole nother level because the banking system will allow them to do that. And they become an asset for the bank in a really big way with their mortgages and cars. And so these are good, wonderful, hardworking, professional people that have never been taught literacy. I have a degree in business finance. And the interesting thing is I got a 4-year degree in business finance, and I knew almost nothing about owning my own business and very little about personal finance. I was taught how to run somebody else's business and how to handle the finance. And so it's a big void in our country, this financial literacy. So we've been focused on that a lot and teaching people to understand the offense, defense, and playing field of personal finance. How, the defense, how to get out of debt, how to work with a budget and all of that. But that's who wants to do that? That's like eating vegetables, right? You should, but come on now, there's homemade ice cream. Just one more bowl. And so it's kind of tough, but if you have some discipline, you can learn a good budgeting, and that'll make a huge difference long term. And we teach that. But then we also have a whole offensive segment of our company where we teach people personal development, how to develop your skills and dealing with people. And every company that I know that has people that are in a retail type setting, they do some kind of training, or they should, most of them do, for their employees that are dealing with the customers. Why? Because that's what determines if the customer comes back sometimes. It's not just your product or service, it's how well they're treated. And so all of these skills that we can teach people, and there's a lot of companies, I could give you tons of them that are using it for their employees, but we offer it for the individual to improve their own skills. Anyway, so we focus mostly on financial literacy. And I want to just talk to you about what we call the 3 L's. The first one is financial literacy, and that's what I just mentioned. And we have a financial fitness program that is fantastic. And everybody that wants to be part of our company and take advantage of this startup, that's how they get started. Matter of fact, I have one right here. Let me grab it here so I can, amongst all the books, I just got a bunch more books today. I love to read. This is the Financial Fit program. This is the actual first part of it, and then there's subscriptions that come in monthly that reinforce and teach all of these 47 principles. This is a fantastic course. It's certified in all 50 states for CPAs to do their continuing education. They have to get continuing education to keep their certification. And this product will give them 22 CPE credits in all 50 states in the United States. So it's a very quality product. I could give you stories and examples of all night of how people have benefited from it. But what I want to do is I want to explain a little bit about the thinking here, because this is stuff that I didn't learn. And this is as important as our new startup. I know with this startup coming, it's such a no-brainer. It's going to affect every personality of person, every age, because people are buying groceries and gas and things, and they're buying it anyway at these vendors. And so it's going to make total common sense to buy the same things and get a discount and get crypto put away for them. And I know it's going to go crazy when we launch it. What we don't want to do is just think, get people thinking that, when you make a lot of money or you save a lot and you put some investment or whatever, that life is going to all of a sudden be great. Money is an awesome tool. Money is it's a big distraction, I think, sometimes. Sometimes, as my one friend said, we all know money won't buy you happiness, but we're all willing to give it another shot. And the fact is, money is a great tool, but, there's other things. It's not just making, it's learning how to handle it. And then it's what it gives you, the freedom to have better relationships, to have more time with people you love. Isn't it amazing how fast life goes by? And so we want to teach more of a complete picture of financial literacy and also of leadership and so forth. So this whole quadrant thing here was put together by Orrin Woodward, and it kind of marries leading people with leveraging systems. So let me explain. First off, the lower left quadrant, these are people that have not learned to lead people, and they have not learned to leverage systems. They basically are what we call workers. They trade time for money. That's what I fell in that category as an accountant. I didn't lead anybody. I didn't influence people. Nobody really cared what I thought, to be honest with you. And I was okay with that. How many accountants that really are people? I wasn't really a people person, and so I was fine with that. And so I went to work and I traded my hours, and I got paid. And as long as I kept trading my hours, they kept paying me. Now, some of you, I'm sure on this call, you have done some great things in leadership. Maybe you've worked your way up in a company. I have some friends I play basketball with at our local gym here, YMCA, and one guy's a banker, and he has 13 different bank branches that he's responsible for, and then there's another guy there that has his own company and he has 20, I think 6 or 8 employees. And so they've learned some leadership. They have people that follow them, that they influence. Maybe in the corporate world, you work your way up. And so we'll call that a manager. That's somebody that, they're learning leadership, but they've still not learned to leverage systems. And so for me, I was in the lower left there, and I didn't understand any of what I'm telling you right now. This was really helpful for me. 95% of people make their money in the left 2 quadrants. And 95% of the people in our society are in the left 2 quadrants. That's how they make their money. They trade their time for dollars. Some of you might have heard it called being bucket carriers. As long as they're carrying the bucket, they get paid. And they might have big buckets. They might be able to make really good 6-digit incomes or more. But the problem is they still have to devote so much of their time to do it. And if they stop giving their time, they stop making the money. Okay. And so and they only control 5% of the money in our system today. That's what we call a limited ladder. And I was on that ladder, and I didn't understand this, and I could have never explained this to you back then, but I did know this. I looked down the road at what I was doing. Maybe some of you can relate to this. I looked down the road and I'd say, this path is not going where I want to go. And as an accountant, somebody told me one time, if you want to know where you're going to be 5 years from now, look at somebody that does what you do, but it's been doing it 5 years longer. Okay, so I remember going to work and starting to take a survey. You know what I found out? I didn't want those results, and it was limiting because it was all based on me and my time. And so that's the left side. Now the right side is people that learn to leverage systems. The lower right are investors. They might not necessarily be leading people, but they take their money and put it into a system. And so, that system, they're leveraging that system to get a return on their investment. And so that's the investor quadrant. The upper right quadrant is the entrepreneur quadrant. And these are people that they learn how to leverage systems, but they also learn to lead people. And this is a really big deal because Orrin, I heard him say it again today. He said, leadership, financial success, financial freedom comes down to 3 things. You got to learn financial literacy. You got to learn how to handle the money you're making and make good choices and delayed gratification and understand the power of compounding and long-term vision and these kind of things. You need to understand that. Second thing is leadership. Learning how to influence people through your ability to think, to game plan, to speak, to educate. I don't know about you. I think back in my life, some of the most important people in my life are the people that educated me. They influenced me by how they lived their life, by maybe specifics they taught me, but a lot of it was by how they lived. My dad was one of those guys. I was blessed to have an awesome dad, and I looked at how he lived his life, how he treated my mom when, he could have had a reason to be mad or ignorant or whatever, and how he treated us and his priorities. And so leadership is a huge deal, and how we learn to lead ourselves and other people is huge. And so that's a big part of it. But then also from a financial standpoint, if you want to learn how to leverage systems, you can be a great leader. And if you don't know how to leverage systems, you're still going to be limited. Think of people like Ray Kroc, for example, with McDonald's. He had this idea. He actually bought McDonald's. If you know the story, it's a great story. I have the book Behind the Arches here somewhere. And it's a great book, and it talks to you about how he basically bought the McDonald's brothers, bought the business from them, and then he developed a system to leverage it. They were afraid of this whole. They thought they were doing pretty good, which they were at the time with the handful of stores they had. But when he bought them, he had a much bigger vision. That's what leadership is. Leadership is a vision for where you're going to go and what we can do. And then he developed a system to leverage so his goal was to have a McDonald's in every town in America, and now of course they're all around the world. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about, the leadership and leverage. And of course this is 5% of the people. And let me make a point on that. I think this is kind of important. Do you ever stop and ask yourself, where did you get your financial advice? I remember thinking through that one time, and then I wasn't surprised while I was getting the same results as all the people that I learned from. It's hard to get 5% advice. This last weekend, there was people that flew in from countries all over the world. There was a guy that spoke on stage in broken English that's from Peru. 22-year-old kid in Peru that's basically like a pioneer and entrepreneur in the Southern Hemisphere, doing a fantastic job. And so he flew the whole way to North Carolina, and then there's people from Canada, people from all over the world. We're in 20 countries that flew to a location. Now, why did they do that? It's expensive, right? All the hotels and the flights and the rental cars. And why would you do that? Because there's a chance to learn from somebody that's got the fruit on the tree. That 5% thinking. Most of my education came from 95% thinking people, my financial education. And so once I was able to tap into 5% information, it wasn't so much me. It was all that I brought to the table was the hunger to learn. And then the information was available by people that had the fruit on the tree. And all that does is it gives you a bigger ladder, And I don't know, some of you on this call, maybe you're happy with where you're at and you got plenty of money and plenty of time and you just wouldn't change anything about your life. But there's a lot of people that look at their life and say, it goes by quick, right? Can you all believe how old you are already? What more do I want to accomplish? What is important for me to be able to accomplish? And the problem is my job is limiting me with both how much I can make, but also how much time I have, because it takes up so much. I got to keep trading so much of it that I don't have time to do the things I want to do, to spend the time with the people I love. Today I got to watch some Disney videos with two of my grandkids, Lenya and Malachi. Lenya's 1 and Malachi's 3. And we had some fun today. And we played, we ate, we laughed, we wrestled. We did a lot of stuff today. Because it's a Monday. And I didn't want to have to go every Monday and work my accounting job. And so on my ladder, and the reason I wanted to leverage a system and learn leadership is because I wanted to have flexibility and freedom of time to be able to choose what I want. And so that's kind of where the next step is this whole idea of what is it you want, and then where are you currently at? What's your current reality? And I hope you understand how important this is. It's funny, if you look around my library here, I love reading books, especially books on principles, but I love reading biographies and autobiographies on successful people. And you know what? I've never read a book on somebody that succeeded that didn't have a specific intent that they were after. And yet, how many people I've met that have no specific intent that they're living their life for? Everyday people that I meet in my life. You ask them, well, what's your goal for 2018? Or, you got, 2 months left? What's it look like? Closing in on some things? Do you have your checklist? What? I was telling a guy the other day, I love listening to pastors, different preachers. That's one of my things. So I watch them online. But then once I get to watch them enough online, I want to go to their church. So I got a whole checklist of different churches I've visited all over the place. And I still got more on there to go. But it's a crazy little funny checklist. But what are things that you want out of life? Do you have something that if you're real honest with yourself, even if you make a lot of money now, you say, man, if I had more time, if I could take some time and do some things that I really want to do with some people that I want to do them with, maybe travel, maybe whatever it is. And the problem is many times people will borrow to get what they want, and then they put themselves in a corner and end up paying not just for the trip or the car or whatever it was, the house. Then they spend the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years paying for it with all this extra interest, kind of like mortgaging their future, not just their house. And so that creates stress. We don't recommend that. Or they just shrink their dreams. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Hey, let me ask you a question. I can't see you, so don't take that. I mean, you can take it personal, but I'm not talking directly to you, maybe. But have you ever met somebody that said we're doing pretty good, that's passionate about life? That's somebody you want to be like, that's excited? I've met people that have a lot of success, and I've met people that have very average success. It has very little to do with what they have or what they've done. It's where they're going. I will always be inspired by the person that has a vision for the future. They're just different. They have energy. They're talking about different content. The weather and, the news media and all of these things don't come up very much in their schedule, in their conversation, because they're talking about their vision for the future. I know if you're sitting there and saying, man, I thought this was just about crypto. Hey, I'm telling you something. One of the things I've learned about success, this isn't common. Most people are, just kind of trying to fit in. It's one thing that really always I just always wonder about this. We only pay for excellence, right? I mean, that's why we pay to go to NFL games or NBA or, NCAA Division I. Man, there's some great events, and we'll buy these tickets and spend hundreds of dollars to go to, a football game. Nothing wrong with that. But why, if we're willing, we want to pay for excellence so much, why does it seem like so many people get excited about being average and fitting in? I don't know. And the only reason I'm throwing that out there, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just trying to inspire people to life. I love being around people that are passionate about something, that are changing themselves, growing themselves because they got something they want to accomplish in life. That's where I'm at. Man, I have all kinds of things that I want to do a lot of them aren't really regarding me. A lot of them was listening to some messages. Actually, my son, Zach, who's on here, was talking about the nonprofit that we started and some of the projects and the kids we're supporting down in Haiti in this orphanage and how many more we need to support. And I feel it in my heart every time. I'm like, oh, man, we need another $100,000 a year. We need another, whatever it is. How much more money? Money's just a tool. What would you do with it? And so, here's just a few things that people have said that some of the top answers, maybe you'd have more time. You can tell that's my hot button. I talk about it all the time. And I'm grateful for it. I mean, when I'm four-wheeling with the grandkids, it's better than accounting. I just say, Thursday, I was just talking to my mom today. I'm going to go up Thursday and spend the day with my mom because my dad passed away earlier this year. And we were all very close. And so I've gotten to spend a lot of time with my mom. I know that if I had an accounting job, they would not give me a day a week off to go spend with my mom. But I didn't pursue that ladder because that had limits that I didn't want placed on me. And so now I have the freedom, and praise God for it, that, I call my mom, we figure out a schedule, and okay, I'll be up there Thursday and we'll have lunch and I'll mow the lawn, hopefully one last time. It needs to get a little colder, but we'll just have a great day together, and I'm there for her and she's there for me. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's just time. But how much value is it? One thing I've learned about successful people, I'll slow down. I feel like I'm talking too fast, but I'm so fired up. One thing I can tell you about successful people value time way more than they do money. They do. It's a bigger deal to them. They create their income, so it gives them freedom to do what they want with their life. And so anyway, time, debt freedom, maybe you travel more. I don't know. Where would you go? You ever stop and think about that? I mean, if you could go anywhere in the world and you had the time and the money, where would you go? Would you go to Europe? Would you go trip across the United States? There's so many neat places to see. How long would you stay? So many things. Obviously, you can see you got a hot button. Maybe it's on that list. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's your church. Maybe it's financial security. Maybe it's charity. Maybe it's stuff. Maybe you need a new truck, or I don't know, and you just want to pay cash so you don't have to go into debt for it. And maybe it's not on that list, but do you have something that fires you up? For me, it was being able to walk away from my job and have my own company that I could control my schedule. And everybody's different, but find something that you want. And then here is the last, well, I'll share a couple more slides, but this is the last big concept I want you to understand. The background of this is really the foundation for our company. Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady, our primary founder and CEO of our company, who have been good friends and business partners for almost 3 decades now. They went to I think it was the late 90s, they went to a business event in Detroit. Michael Dell was the speaker, and Michael Dell put these 3 things up on the board, and he said, if you want to rule the internet, you're going to have world-class content, great commerce, but most importantly, and he drew the community one bigger, you're going to have to be able to figure out community, how to create a loyal community. And so this is the model that we have followed. And this is why I believe now we're in a position we have companies coming to us with these startup ideas to partner with us because our community is huge. And we made that the primary thing. We know content, product, and business will come and go as far as the money and all that. We can add more companies. Warren keeps telling us, we start this up in this new startup in January. That's just the start. As we continue to grow our community and grow our crypto and grow our influence and our volume for these merchants, there's gonna be more and more knocking at our door to add them to our community as well. And so the content piece is our app, and we've got an awesome app that has everything on it. It will teach you literacy. This whole new project is just another way to help with the literacy part, to not so much the teaching part, but the actual process of helping people get out of debt and create some investments and create some security in their future and their wealth for their life. And so that's the literacy piece. It starts with education, and then we have some tools to help you do that. Leadership, I already talked about that, and then learning how to leverage a system so that all of your income is not based on you and your time. Commerce, this is our comp plan. This is the cool thing about this program. I mean, it is so neat. It's kind of like Facebook, except that we get compensated for it. I mean, think about how Facebook grew at the beginning. If you guys remember, basically it was an idea, and then people started talking to other people, and word of mouth, it went crazy just because of people telling other people. They weren't getting paid to tell other people. But, hey, are you on Facebook yet? Oh, you got to get an account. I want to share some pictures with you or something. And so, boom, it just went like crazy, and I don't even know the numbers now, how many billion people and all that. But it's huge. And it grew to a huge community, totally uncompensated by the people that were word of mouth telling people about it. Now, there was some compensation and a lot of financial wealth created, obviously, by the owners and stockholders and all of that. And so imagine that same concept, but imagine that we track it. Okay, so we have this app, and basically you're talking to somebody, you're standing in line behind somebody at Home Depot, and then they're checking out, and you say, you didn't pay retail for that, did you? Or you're not going to pay retail. And they go, what do you mean? I say, man, have you ever heard of the Life app? And they go, no, what is it? Oh man, it's this app, and it's got like a university of success on here, all kinds of different principles. But one of the things we just we partnered with a whole bunch of different merchants, this being one of them, so that when you use the app, you get a discount on your purchases and then get money put into your crypto. How much does it cost to get? It doesn't cost anything to get the app. And so, boom, they could get the app right there, download it on their phone. You give them your little code, and they put it in. Boom, they're on. They got their own app, and now they can get a discount. They're like high-fiving you on the way. Thanks, man. And what if I want to tell somebody? Yeah, you can tell other people. Yeah, it's cool, right? Now, add the third part. The third part is there's volume attached with those purchases, a point volume with all the purchases. And we don't even know the exact details on that. I'm sure it'll vary based on company. But as that volume is created and profitability is huge, we get to share in the profit. And there's a marketing aspect here as we word of mouth market this app, and as it goes viral, how many people get the app and how much volume is created because of that. Because of you get to share in some of that profit. And it's awesome. We know it's going to go viral anyway. How cool is it to be able to sit down with someone and say, hey, listen, we're gonna add a whole bunch of people in this community. If you want to help do it, we'll let you share in the profit. And that's exactly what we're showing you tonight. That's why somebody told you got to get on and listen to this. And by the way, even if I'm not doing a great job explaining it, it's all new to all of us, really. I will tell you, we got some videos we can send you. Whoever invited you on here has access to a Rob Robson video. And by the way, if you think you don't, we were able to get a copy of that video again. So just the original one was taken down on YouTube, but we got another one. We put it on a YouTube clip. We can get it to you. Whoever invited you, if you don't have it, text me, and we'll get it to you. But anyway, watch it. It's 39 minutes. He explains the history of the company and so much about the new venture with the crypto. And then there's another one, a talk he just did this weekend that's being produced right now that we'll have access to probably in the next few days, for sure in the end of the week, that you'll be able to have this. And he explains more of the actual companies that are already involved and kind of how he actually goes through a 5 5 points on why cryptocurrency, the obstacles to overcome with cryptocurrency. One of them was transaction fees, which are really big for a lot of companies, and ours it's none. And there's a whole bunch of them, and we overcame all 5 of them with this project. That's why we're so fired up about it. Anyway, so our community is linked together through events, through subscriptions, so forth. That's why we all were in North Carolina this last weekend. For those of you that are checking this out, get a video or two. They'll send them to you. They'll text them to you, and you can watch those. But I would tell you this, the biggest thing you can do is find a way to get around one of our events in November. I mean, we have an event coming up. Is it the 11th? Wait, let me get my, it's a November Saturday. So whatever, yes, no, 10th, November 10th. And some locations it's the 17th, depending on where in the world you are, where in the country you are. Here in Pennsylvania, where ours is on the 10th. It's in the Lancaster area. We got a beautiful venue down there that we use, a big auditorium, and there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people, and we're going to go into a lot more depth in this. We have from 6 o'clock in the evening till about 10, and we do 3 different talks to teach you about not just the crypto and the new project, although a lot of it will be about that, but also the whole way to leverage a system, business mentality, entrepreneurship, and some leadership in there as well. And so you want to find a way to get to that. We even money back guarantee the tickets and all of that. But you'll love that. So here's all we do. We build communities, and it's all word of mouth. And basically what we're looking for right now, we're not really looking for customers at the moment because it's not open until January. Obviously, we get customers of our financial and our leadership stuff, but I'm talking about the new project. It will be open sometime. We don't even have the exact date that we'll be able to release it in January. But we're hoping our major conference that's about halfway through the month, we'll be able to introduce it and roll it out then, and we can all download the new part of the app, and it's going to be incredible. But here's what we're looking for, and I'll just shoot real straight with you. I just talked to a couple earlier this evening too, and here's what we're looking for. I'm looking for somebody that has more of an entrepreneurial mindset. They know it's kind of a no-brainer if you're buying stuff at a place to get an app so you can get a discount in crypto. That's not going to be hard to promote that. I'm looking for people that want to help build a community and bring a lot of people in, explaining the idea and getting them around some of our events so they can learn. And it's kind of like going to college. Except for college, you got to go 4 years for undergrad and 8 years for grad and med school and all the other things. If you're going to be a doctor, we don't need that, but 3 months would be good. So it's your preparation time where you're going to be learning what to do to build the communities and how it's going to work. At the same time, you will hold your spot, and what that'll do is, as we're sharing this with more and more folks, and as it grows, some are going to be interested in being customers. That'll be more as it hits in January. But there's going to be other people that want to be members. Let me explain the difference. A customer is somebody it makes sense to get the app and benefit from it. A member is somebody, yes, all of that first part makes sense, but they also say, I'd like to share in the profit, for goodness sakes. If I knew, that Amazon was going to be so big, I don't want to just benefit from buying stuff from Amazon, as an example. I want to benefit from owning stock, right? We're looking for that mentality person, the person that wants to share in the ownership. In this case, you don't have to put money in. We're not, when we launched the crypto, it's not an initial coin offering like all of the other ones. We're not looking to raise money. We're debt-free. Our company is debt-free. We've done hundreds of millions of dollars in leadership and financial material, and we built our app, and everything's paid for. And so we're debt-free. As we go into all these, we're in 20 countries now. We pay cash in everything we do. And so we're not looking to raise money. We don't need money to build this. What we need is we want to share. We're looking for entrepreneurs. We're looking for some people that are dreamers, that are wanting to have better results in life and realize there's my chance. And maybe you can think back in a time in your life that you think, oh man, I blew it. I should have bought that property. I was going to buy some of that stock, but I bought them and I sold them. I should have held them. Look, if I had, look where it would be today. Or whatever. And you can look back at opportunities. I should have started that company in the corner there, in some place in town, and look at how successful it is now. And whatever it is, looking back in your life, you see missed opportunities. I do anyway, and you probably do too. And you say, I don't want to miss another one. Well, here's the crazy thing. Since we're not looking for money, there's really no risk involved in you becoming part of our community. Let me give you the details. Anybody becomes a member, they get the financial fitness program. It's $120 for this. This is worth way more than that. Even if you just went through and applied a couple of the 47 principles, you'd still get a financial fitness pack. You can get digital or physical. And then it's $20 for membership. So that's $120, $20 for the membership, and then your little tax and shipping on this, and basically 150 some bucks. You're part of the community as a member. And then, you know, there's some subscriptions you can get, all different kinds, depending on what your interests are. We recommend the financial fitness program, at least for the next 3 months, so you can understand those subscriptions too. And it's basically less money, and most of y'all are spending for cable TV or your cell phone service. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And think of that as the risk, if you want to call it that, for the upside potential of being part of something that, who knows where it could be 6 months from now. A year from now. Oh my goodness, I just can't wait. I'm so fired up. So I would encourage you, if you can't relate to my excitement, I'm a little overboard. I don't apologize, but you'll understand when you get around us all the potential here. But I will tell you this: come to some event this coming Tuesday, tomorrow. A lot of your events, we have locations that you can come and meet some of the community. Now, obviously, it's all over the country, so there might not be one local for you, or there might be, check with whoever invited you on this. But get to that one you can come to for free and just meet some. It might be a few people, it might be 100, might be a couple hundred people. And, you know, we rent Cedar Crest College in Allentown, Pennsylvania. There's, you know, that's one of our local ones, fairly local to here. And so you can come there and meet some of the team there and hear more details on this. And so, and then also on the 10th of November, come to that. But get some of the videos, the links that we'll send you, and go through them and really check it out. If you're like I was, and like I talked to a couple of my friends recently, and just kind of explained what's happening, and they were like, okay, how much? 150 some bucks to hold a spot? I spend more than that on a date, you know. 150. Okay, give me a spot. I'll figure out the rest later. But anything involving crypto, think of what could happen. So that's all it takes to hold your spot, and then and get around the community. We'll teach you strategies. I'm not even going to go into this now, but basically, this is our goal. We are having a lot of fun. Boy, do we have a lot of fun this last weekend. You know, when you're, well, I'm not going to tell you my age, but it's older than, well, it's older than it used to be. I've got 4 kids and 6 grandkids. Can you believe that? I know I can't believe it either. And I'm over 50 years old. We'll just say that. No, I don't mind. It's 51. And you know what? I feel like a teenager, man. I've never felt this way as an accountant. I feel like a teenager. I feel like I can dream as big as I want to. Anything that I really want to accomplish, I can go out, and if I can help enough people understand the value of this and plug them in, not only is it going to help me in pursuing my dreams, but I'm going to help other people and influence other people and see them in a better spot in life. Learning leadership, getting a lot of wonderful, good friends that they're going to end up being, you know, good friends for life. I was looking at some of the folks this weekend that I've met in the last year. And as we were in North Carolina, thinking these are people I didn't know a year ago, but we'll probably be friends for life now. We'll be traveling the world together. We'll be doing stuff, hunting together. A bunch of guys are going to come in. We'd like to hunt here in Pennsylvania. Forgive me if you're not a hunter, but and we just love getting out into the beautiful woods this time of year, and we just have fun, make money. There's a lot of money at stake here. For those of you that are looking for a chance to really get things figured out financially, this is your shot. And then, of course, making a difference. That's where we take our money and use it as a tool, our time and our money, to serve the people that God put in our lives to serve. And whether it's our own family, our extended family, our church, our ministry project, all kinds of neat things that you'll have time and money to put into. And it's fired up. And anyway, I already told you that stuff. So let me stop the sharing here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's the last thing I'm going to tell you. I see Zach's not on here anymore. I was going to have him say something, but the last thing I'm going to tell you is this. We just came. I mean, this is Monday. Yesterday, most of us were in North Carolina. This is fresh. And so we're going to learn more information. I guarantee you next week at this time, I'll know a lot more than I do right now. So if there's any way you can get with whoever invited you onto this, into this Zoom, or somebody they know that can get together with you and kind of explain, not so much that you need to know a lot of the details. We don't know all the details, but kind of the big picture of what we're doing, where we're going, and getting to know the leadership. And you'll be more impressed the more you see. That's all I can tell you. You're going to be more impressed. And I kind of got a take no prisoners attitude right now. I'm just looking for people that want to run fast for the next 90 days and bring as many people into the community so that when we launch this project, we can bless so many people's lives so quickly. And it's going to be really awesome. I see down there on the bottom, a few of you I've made into panelists. And so I think I'd like to have one of my friends from Western Pennsylvania. He didn't know I was going to do this, so this is kind of off the top. But I'd like to have Rusty and Darla Dodds. I'll unmute you in a second, guys. Let me just tell them who you are, because you won't. For those of you watching this is a couple that they own a very successful Christian counseling company. They have 40-plus employees. They started themselves and worked from ground up to have a big impact in their society. So obviously, you know, from the type of business, it's not just the business that they've had success in, but the whole point of the business is to serve and help people get through their difficulties and their challenges in life and their thinking that's holding them back. And so they become very, very close friends of Teresa and I. They're just wonderful people. I love every time I get a chance to hang out with them. And and Rusty, he's a unique individual. We'll just leave it there, Rusty. He's one of the biggest dreamers I've ever met. But anyway, I'm going to unmute you now. And also I'd like you guys to do, if you could just take a second. It looks like you're in the witness protection program because we can't see your faces, but they're real people. But if you could just let people know, why you're excited. A couple that already has a successful company, and why you're excited, what you're excited about, and just something you think might relate to them. Okay, you are unmuted.
Okay, well, I tried to get my picture up here better, but somehow something went wrong. But I'm so excited.
That's right.
Just I don't know.
Hey, I'll take care of it.
All right. So
you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm hysterical about a historical moment because this launch. There we are. I mean this is as big as Amazon, but for the regular everyday guy. Bezos made all the money with Amazon. We get to have a piece of the pie, and the pie is just going to grow and grow and grow exponentially. I made 16 phone calls today. That's probably the most calls I've ever made in one day. And I'm talking to people with posture because it's that big of a deal. It's going to save the crypto world because it would die out if they didn't have a place to exchange for market for goods and services. So this is going to take the crypto world from horse and buggy to automobile. That's how big this is. And it's hard for me to talk to people because it's hard for me to get words out. And anybody that's on this call that knows me, I talk all the time. But I have a log jam of thoughts because you can't say some of the stuff that I'd like to say about how big this is and what an opportunity it is. And I had a guy today that I was talking to, hadn't talked to him in a long time, and he said, geez, Rusty, I just don't have any kind of money to invest. And I started laughing. He said, what are you laughing about? I said, as you just shared with us, it's $160 to become a member. And $120, that's product. So there's no risk. And oh my goodness, $120 to get into an Amazon that you get a piece of the pie. So, okay, it might not be billions and billions of dollars like Bezos, but I certainly wouldn't mind getting 1/100,000th of $1 billion. I mean, anyway, I don't even know what that number is, but I know it's pretty big. So anyway, Darla?
Well, I'm excited too. And something that just happened this weekend is I got to see these our new friends from down in the Sharon, Newcastle area. I got to see these young folks just come alive. I saw belief in their eyes. I saw them just really start to say, man, I have not been in a world like this where I'm around positive people who believe in me, who expect high things out of me. And I saw them rise to a level that I don't even think they know yet what that level is, as well as my friends that were with us right in our van and the crazy things that were going on in that. We're so fired up coming home. Man, I can't put words to it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. I appreciate that. And yeah, I think Rusty might be a little bit unrelatable, but I think we all are after this weekend. That's why you couldn't tell him everything. I know what you're saying, buddy. But and you know what? I just want, for those of you that are just tuning in here tonight, and you weren't at North Carolina, how many times have you been around people that even share with that much enthusiasm because of their workplace? You know, people you work with on your job or whatever. There's just, we need, in this world, we need more people excited about their future and about helping other people and accomplishing things than complaining about their current present situation and all that they don't like about the country and the politics and the whatever. And we want to make a difference. We really do. And yeah, maybe we're naive enough to believe we can. And we're going to pile thousands of people into this community between now and January. And when we launch that, it's going to be incredible. And we'd love for you to be a part of it. Check it out for yourself, you know, if you'd like to, or just hold your spot and check it out as you can. But I look forward to meeting some of you at events coming up and you know, especially at the big events. But and we'll get to meet and talk, and I know you're going to be impressed with everything you see. So I appreciate Rick and Rusty and Darla sharing tonight. It was great to share with you guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and look forward to seeing you and meeting you in the future. God bless everybody. Good night.